such active participants in your child's education. And so this is just a great group of, people that might be like you, who are, finding and having some of the same questions that, others within our small Hickory community have. And so we have always prided ourselves on being such a great school for our English learners, because it's one thing to be a Hickory Hound, but it's a whole nother thing to be an EL Hickory Hound. We are proud of ourselves because we usually get you out of the program very quickly. I am so amazed with our kindergartners that come in, how quickly they develop and acquire the English language. And our teachers and staff are so supportive and awesome at doing that. So thank you for sending your beautiful children to us to let us do that. So this is Mrs. Lim, and we have two interpreters here. Chika, a Japanese translator, and Pauline, who is a Korean translator. So Chika and Pauline and Mrs. Kim, remind me, how do we let people into your rooms?
So the parents will need, so on your end, you should be able to see a little globe at the bottom of your Zoom screen that says interpretation. So if you go ahead and click on that, I believe you're seeing two different rooms. Am I correct?
I see them.
Yep. And then you can go ahead and click on the language that you would like to be part of. And if you can just take a moment to go ahead and do that right now and get settled in and make sure that you can hear your translator at this time. And if there's anyone that is having trouble, could you please just unmute and let us know? All right, Chika and Pauline, are we good? Are we good to go? Awesome. All right, thank you so much. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start sharing my screen with you all. Here we go. Okay, all right. So again, thank you so much for coming to our ELMAC meeting tonight. I know it's a very busy time of the year, so we're very thankful that you're able to join us today. We have our school plan that we would like to spend some time just going over that with you and introduce you to. So here's our agenda for tonight. We're gonna go ahead and share our minutes from our last meeting, and we're gonna spend some time introducing our school's plans and how we use our budgets for the year. And we're going to close the meeting by giving you some little conference tips as you're going to be meeting and having a conference with your teacher, your child's teacher, coming up very shortly in January. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the minutes from our last meeting. So the first ELMAC meeting of the school year for Hickory was held on October 8th, about 2 months ago. And we started the meeting by going over our ELMAC bylaws and Robert's Rules of Order. And we explained our legal responsibilities, membership, and committee procedures. We also went over our school policies, and we discussed the importance of regular school attendance, increasing communication between home and school, as well as homework and discipline procedures at Hickory. We also took time to go over the programs for our EL learners at our school, and we shared different instructional models that we are using at our school by our teachers. Are there any corrections that we need to make to the minutes from our last meeting? I was gonna ask all of you to say aye if you approve the minutes, but since we're all muted and I can't hear your voice, and I thought that I was gonna ask you to show me your thumbs up, we're kind of like all hidden because our cameras are up. So I see Mrs. Mayberry giving her thumbs up to me, so I'm gonna assume that we're all good to go and we approve the minutes from our last meeting. Thank you, that was super easy. Okay. So I wanted to actually start our meeting by giving some updates of our school reopening. This week was truly special for all of us as educators and Torrance, because since our school closure in March, we weren't able to see our students in person, but finally we were able to open up our school this week on Monday to welcome our littlest, youngest Hickory Hounds. So we opened up our school campus to our kindergartners, those students whose families signed up for blended learning. So we currently have 4 kindergarten classes that come in the morning, and we have 3 kindergarten classes that come in the afternoon. So this week was very busy for us at our school, welcoming our kids and making sure that, you know, our kids are well adjusted to their first public school experience ever. Another good news is that after we return from our winter break in January 4th, on Monday, we're going to be also welcoming our first graders to Hickory. And we can't just wait to see them, how much they have grown since March, since we haven't seen our students, our first graders, since they were in kinder last year. So I just wanted to give you some of the updates of our school reopening. So hopefully sometime this school year, we really hope that we get to see all of our students all the way to 5th grade and really see how much they've grown and really be able to offer school in person. All right, so this is going to be the meat of our meeting today. So I would like to go over our Hickory single plan for student achievement. And we as educators, we call this document SIPSA because we love acronyms in education. SPSA, single plan for student achievement. So every school has a single plan for student achievement that is carefully designed and thoughtfully developed. And that is because we want to make sure that we are spending every penny and every dollar that's allocated for our school to improve student achievement. We don't just spend money on something because we like it. We always make sure that we're spending money on something that is going to achieve our students, that's going to improve our student achievement. So tonight, I would like to take a moment to share our Hickory SIPSA and also be able to receive your input as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our first goal. So our first goal at Hickory this year is that all Hickory students will increase proficiency by 3% in both literacy, so reading and writing, and math. And by the way, if you haven't heard, we are going to be giving our state testing CASP in spring this year. We don't really have much details on how this is going to all work out, possibly remotely. I don't know that yet, but we will share more information as we get more detailed information as we go. But we are administering our state testing this year to our students. So how are we going to achieve this, the student achievement in math and reading and writing? Our teachers are so wonderful at making sure that they are providing awesome instruction to all of our students to make sure that students are accessing their grade level standards. And our teachers are also very good at making sure that they're assessing their students on a regular basis, so that when they see that their students are falling behind or in need of additional support, we move them to the next tier so that we can provide more focused and targeted additional support. So that is a system that we operate very tightly at our school, and our teachers are so wonderful at making sure that they are instructing and assessing our students on a regular basis, so that when we see our students struggling, we don't just let it go by. We make sure that we look for those students. We provide that we make sure that we provide those targeted additional support for our students. And how do we do that? We're very fortunate to have our district signature practices in both reading and math. In reading, our teachers are very tight on providing guided reading. Even through virtual learning, you probably have seen that your child is engaged in a small group reading session with your teacher, and that is guided reading. That guided reading instruction is offered at their reading level, making sure that students are reading together with the teacher on a regular basis, so that they could improve their reading skills as well. And in math, our district signature practice is cognitively guided instruction. And this is all about making sure that our students are not only just learning their math skills, but really understanding the concepts. So our teachers are working really hard to make sure that they're taking the time to explain the concepts so that they're not just learning or memorizing the facts, but they're understanding the concepts behind it. So these are our two of our district signature practices for reading and math, and our teachers are using those to practice every day in their instructions, even remotely at this time. Our next goal at Hickory is that all student groups, and I want to emphasize this again, that all student groups, including our ELL students, our low-income students, and foster youth, and our homeless students, who are underperforming will increase the achievement gap by 10% this year. Again, like I said earlier, with our goal number 1, we want to make sure that we are really looking for our students who are falling behind from the very start. We want to make sure that we are providing additional support to our students who are at risk, both in reading and mathematics. So we are very fortunate to have our 2 wonderful reading intervention teachers who have been working at Hickory for some time, and they know our students really well. And we have designed our Tier 3 instructions in reading, and we started that back in October already. So those students who have been identified as students at risk, we have been meeting with, so those students have been meeting with one of our intervention teachers 4 days a week, every day for 30 minutes, and that is a lot. And these students have already shown significant increase in their reading just by seeing another teacher who's reading with them with a small group of peers at their reading level. So we're very excited to continue this intervention programs for the rest of the school year. And I have another wonderful news. We were able to hire a teacher who's now going to be working with our students in grades 3, 4, 5 to provide math intervention classes. So that is also going to be starting in January, and we are currently now working on making sure that we are looking for those students who are falling behind in mathematics so that we can provide this extra support for grades in 3 to 5 in mathematics. We are also very proud because in October, we were able to start our English language acquisition support classes for our ELX1 students. So some of your children are actually in these classes. So those students have been meeting with one of our intervention teachers 4 times a week for 30 minutes each day, and really practicing those reading and verbal speaking skills and reading skills as well. In October, we actually welcomed our first group of Hickory students to campus to provide in-person school support. So they're not actually learning with their teacher in the classroom. They're still learning virtually in front of their computer, but we do have a group of students who have been identified as at-risk students at our school, and we invited them to come onto our campus to actually do their school in person. So those are a couple of different things that we have been already using at our school to make sure that we are really reaching all of our learners, especially our students who are at risk. Hickory goal number 3, that's very wordy and has a lot of education jargons there. So I'm going to go ahead and read that to you and just kind of explain that to you what that means. Hickory Elementary School will implement an effective, coherent, and a sustainable professional development model that maximizes the conditions for learning for all students while implementing Common Core ELA and Math State Standards, Next Generation Science Standards, ELD standards, and other performance standards for grades K through 12, using cognitively guided instruction and guided reading and D3. So that's a lot of words in there. But what really means is that our students are learning their grade level state standards curriculum through rigorous and high educational experiences in their classrooms. And our teachers are working really hard to make sure that they are using our district signature practices to make sure that they're providing that tight tiered instruction to all of our students. And we know that this is not an easy job, and it's too big of a job for anyone to do alone. So that is why our district is really focused on making sure that our teachers are working in professional learning communities. And this is one of the reasons why your child has a shortened day on Wednesdays, to allow our teachers to have that valuable time for them to meet with their grade level teacher teams and also their colleagues, to be able to attend trainings and to have a professional learning community discussions, to talk about their students, to talk about their assessment results so that they can continuously monitor and also adjust their instruction. So that is why we continue to have our the Wacky Wednesday schedule so that our teachers can really have this valuable time. And in addition to having their own grade level sessions, our teachers are also attending our district's trainings as well. Hickory number 4, goal number 4, Hickory Elementary School will provide an environment which establishes physical safety, cultivates emotional security, and facilitates responsible decision-making where students and parents feel engaged. And this is really big to us this year. Now that we can't really see our students and all of our students are accessing their learning remotely, oftentimes we do see that our students are disengaged and feel that they're not connected to the school. So, but Mrs. Mayberry and I, and as well as our staff, has been really working hard to making sure that our students do still feel connected to their school and that we still maintain a sense of community at Hickory. So we're very proud to say that we kept our tradition going and we are still doing our pod ticket winners every week at our weekly assemblies. We are recognizing our students who are showing positive behaviors in their Google Classrooms, Zoom meetings, because we want to make sure that we are using every moment that we can to teach our students the appropriate behavior expectations. And we are also recognizing our students who are displaying awesome hound behaviors. And we recently, just this past Wednesday or yesterday, we celebrated our second Hound Award winners. So we have been recognizing our students and have been finding ways to support our students' behaviors through having virtual lunch with the principal, and some of your children were able to attend those, and also hosting virtual dance party with Mrs. Mayberry and I. So those are some of the fun things that we have been just kind of working at our school to help our students really feel that they're connected to the school and that we are still in this community together. And also this year, we also worked on making sure that we have some support system for students who are really struggling with engagement through virtual learning. It is hard to do learning at home in front of a computer by themselves. And we do have some students that are really just struggling with making sure that they are keeping up with their work at school and making sure that their schoolwork is up to date. So we have a very tight system at our school where teachers are really the first people, the first frontline people that are reaching out to our students. And when we get a notification from our teachers that some of their students are still having a hard time just staying engaged, Mrs. Mayberry and I, along with our counselors, with our office staff, we're making those first personal phone calls. We're emailing to those students to really ask them what's going on and see if there's anything that we can do to help them. You know, every time we let our students know this is not easy. We all are going through this together, but we also want to make sure that we're providing that support that our students and families need. And that leads to our next and last goal, which is about communication. So we are going to continue to provide our parent outreach via our weekly communications, such as our e-blast that Mrs. Mayberry sends out every Friday. And we are hosting our ELMAC parent meetings, and we would love to be able to host more coffee with the principal, nights with our parents so that we can stay connected with each other throughout this time. You know, if we were at school normally, you know, we would do in-person meetings to really see each other and have a conversation. But we also find that, you know, Zoom meetings really actually work out, you know, because we can actually log in, you know, at our homes, you know, from the comfort of our homes and still be able to stay connected and get information. So one thing that we would like to make sure that you check on your end is those weekly emails that we send out every Friday. It's got important information that we would like to share with you. It has important school events and dates that we would like you to be aware of. So please make sure that you are not deleting or ignoring those emails that we send out to you, because we do want to make sure that you are getting all the important information, and we want to stay connected and connected with you. So I talked a lot and I just went over those 5 Hickory goals that we have for our school year. Do you have any questions about any of these 5 goals that I just went over? I'm just clicking through to see if I have anyone who's raising their hands or turning their camera on. And you could also ask your interpreter, your translator, to ask a question on behalf of you too. If you can't think of any questions right now, but if you think of something that you would like to ask us later, feel free to email us and ask us, and we'll be happy to answer your questions later. All right. Like I said earlier, after the holiday break, we're going to be having our first parent-teacher conferences. It's going to be from January 25th through February 3rd. So your teachers will be reaching out to you after the holiday break when we come back to school in January to schedule those times with you. So I wanted to actually provide some tips for you as you get ready to meet with your teacher and spend really meaningful time. You only really have 15 minutes. So I want you to make sure that you are prepared and get really good information out of that. So don't, always be ready to talk to your child about their schooling. So it's something that I always do. Mrs. Mayberry and I were both parents too. So we ask our children, how's their school, how their school is going. Always keep that communication open at home. Ask them what they're learning at school. Ask them about what homework they're doing. Don't just ask them, did you do their homework? Did you do your homework? But what kind of homework was it? What did you read? What did you read about? What kind of math did you learn today? So talk to your child about what they're learning at school so that you can also gain some more information about how their school is going. Before you meet with your teacher for a parent-teacher conference, maybe create a list of questions that you want to ask. And I always emphasize to parents to be specific. Don't just ask your teacher about how's my child doing in school? Is my child turning in his homework? But be very specific. How is my child reading? What are some of the things that I can do at home to improve my child's reading skills? Are there any specific math skills that my child is lacking? How can I help my child at home? So ask those specific questions to your teacher. And if there's any topics or any concerns that you have, please make sure that you share with your teacher as well, and as well as any information that you would like to share with the teacher. All right. And I want to now just kind of let you know about our future meetings. We're not going to see you for 3 months. So our next meeting is going to be in March. So March 4th at 5 o'clock. And we have our last meeting scheduled for May 20th at 5 o'clock as well. And I also want to let you know that most of you already know that we do have DELMAC. So DELMAC is kind of like the district ELMAC. Like we, as a school site, we have an ELMAC. So the district is also offering some DELMAC meetings as well. So for those who are interested in attending, it's going to be on February 4th and May 20th. So once we get the meeting links from the district, I'll be sure to share those with you so that you can go ahead and attend those meetings as well. Are there any other questions?
Thank
you
Mrs.
so much for coming tonight. Would like to add?
No, I just thank everyone for coming today. Thank you, Mrs. Kim. And we sure hope you and your family have the greatest of holidays, even during this very strange time. But we look forward to seeing you in March of 2021. It's very weird to say, so hopefully it'll be a much better year. We wish you the best, everyone.
All right, thank you everyone for coming tonight.
Bye.
Thank you, Chica. Thank you, Pauline.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye, Pauline. Have a happy holidays. Oh, there's.
Just stop recording.
Oh my God. Oh, stop. If I hit, let me see.